I want to tell you a crayon story. And it's a story about children that will emphasize why this matters and why giving these children gifts and quality gifts matter. When former President Bush and I made our now much heralded trip to the tsunami-affected countries, we saw a lot of things that were amazing. We stood in the ruins of a village in Aceh where 6,500 people had lived and only 700 survived, where only the mosque was standing and every other building in the whole village was flat. And the rice fields were ruined with salt water that had come way, way hundreds of yards up on the shore. And the boats were destroyed and the whole thing. But the most important thing we saw, the most moving thing we saw in Indonesia and Sri Lanka, the two hardest hit countries, were the programs helping the children who had lost their parents, their siblings, their whole way of life. And the central instrument of the programs was the crayon. Because the health professionals that were working with these kids realized that they had varying degrees of articulateness, that it was difficult to impossible for many of them to really say what they were feeling. So they began almost immediately asking them to draw what they were feeling. And George Bush and I went to 3 or 4 of these things. We saw these drawings. And then we saw the kids go through incarnations of their feelings, over and over again. So he got a drawing, a stunning drawing, that this child had done. It looked like a piece of southern folk art from the place where I come from, the part of the country, where this child had drawn a picture of her mother drowning and an automobile sinking and a boat sinking and all these bad things happening. And then another child who also lost a member of his family had drawn a picture of an American helicopter with a lifeline coming down from the helicopter saving people. And then we saw a series of drawings where the kids would first start with the darkest fears they had and then move to the good things that had happened by people trying to help save them after the tsunami. And then after a little while, the ones that were really getting well would just draw normal kid things. But somebody gave them the crayons. They didn't have any crayons.